We're back in the game again. Oh, in the solar. We're back in the solar again. I could have said that. That would have been better. Good intentions. From Minfilia. I am most eager to address the Ascian threat. However, we dare not neglect our other pressing concerns. We both know full well that Saint Shiva will not be the last primal we face, and our relationship with Ishgard is still tenuous at best. To think that the resolution of the primal threat was once the sole priority of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Some days I wonder if it was wise for us to take on so many other responsibilities. Lest you forget, antecedent, the Scions the Scions need not shoulder the burden alone. Were not the Crystal Braves established for this very reason? True, we are presented with a multitude of problems. However, we have all the resources we need to address them in turn. Mercy, in particular, is ever a steadying hand, who I trust will continue to support the Braves. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have there been further developments regarding the situation in Ul'dah? As expected, the Immortal Flames have been struggling to cope with the revelation that one of their highest-ranking officers was a Garlean agent. Suffice it to say, Teleji Adeleji and his monetarist Ilk have wasted no time in attempting to turn the situation to their advantage. Coupled with ongoing unrest, the Flames are finding themselves hard-pressed. Plainly, General Raban needs our help, and I will direct the Crystal Braves to offer what support they can. If I am to stay abreast of the latest developments and issue effective orders, however, I cannot afford to waste time traveling back and forth. And so, for the foreseeable future, I think it would be for the best if I were to remain in Ul'dah, unless you have an objection. None whatsoever. We have matters here well in hand. Moonbreeda's research is proceeding as planned? So she tells me, though I am not familiar with the details. Urianger is poring over his tomes of the Waking Sands, and the others are contributing in their own ways. Alas, the key problem, how to form an ethereal blade at will, remains unsolved. Nevertheless, it is only a matter of time. Mercy, while we focus on that task, mayhap you could assist Alphino and his Braves with theirs? It would do much to restore faith in the Immortal Flames if the Warrior of Light was seen working on their behalf. Never forget that your esteemed status allows you to act in ways that those more tightly bound to organizations and nations cannot. As ever, I implore you to do so. Not that your response was ever in doubt, but I humbly thank you once more for aiding in our cause. Now then, there are preparations I must attend to before my departure, such as receiving Riol's latest report. He has proven to be quite skilled at gathering information others wish kept secret, hence why I placed him under my direct command and ordered him to investigate the Ul'dah riots. When you are finished here, join me outside. Depending on what he has to say, I may soon have a favor to ask. If there are any developments on our front, I shall inform you at once in the usual fashion. In the usual fashion. Blah, blah. I didn't drink my water today. Riol and Alphino are out front. Riol is a blonde, eye-patched man. Pleasure as always, Mercy. You'll be escorting the commander to Ul'dah, I take it. Actually, I had another task in mind for her. If you'd be so kind as to repeat your report for her benefit? Right then. Me and mine have been making inquiries into the source of the weapons that found their ways into refugees' hands a ways back. So happens we caught wind of something promising, a rather large purchase of sharp and pointy things by a black marketeer holed up near Highbridge. I doubt that this man would have secured such a quantity of weapons if he did not already have clients waiting, clients that, for whatever reason, would prefer for this transaction to remain secret. Brings to mind that merchant what caught an arrow while talking to Mercy, don't it? Generous fellow he was, doling out swords and spears to the downtrodden and disgruntled. Which isn't to say that these clients have the same mischief in mind, but if you want to be sure, might be prudent to interfere before they collect their goods, savvy? Seizing the weapons before they fall into the wrong hands would be for the best. However, if we strike at the appointed hour, we might capture the black marketeer as well as his clients. What say you, Mercy? Then it is settled. Rendezvous with Captain Ilbert at Highbridge and intervene when the exchange takes place. Now then, if you would excuse me, I must leave for Ul'dah. I expect good tidings. Cutscene over. Highbridge. 282? Sure. Camp, Drybone, teleport. And then Jazz Wolf almost exactly to the east, but a tad to the north. It's like east northeast kinda. I guess you could call it east northeast, but it's kinda still way more east than that even. Anywho, are we talking to our Lalafeld? No, we're going on the bridge, okay. Here's Ilbert. Ah, mercy, my scouts have been keeping a close eye on the Black Marketeer, and it would seem that his guests have arrived. It would also seem that he has hired more than a few men to stand guard, common thugs of no consequence, but they nevertheless pose a threat. Even so, I feel compelled to apologize. This is far beneath a woman of your standing, and Commander Levalier needn't have dispatched you hither. But powerful men ever have need of loyal, able-bodied friends. Having found one in you, it is only natural that he would come to rely upon you without hesitation. Good intentions is done. Next quest is bait and switch. Now then, we should make for the burning wall without delay and secure those weapons. The first unit will ensure that the clients do not escape. With me, Mercy. Another Crystal Brave salutes, runs off, stalling my exit by like 5 seconds. Jeez, guys. Time is of the essence. Time is a burning thing. Boom. Burning my desire. Ilbert. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the Black Marketeer unawares. Okay. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Then let us be off. Good luck, my friend. I fell into a burning ring of fire. Here's a hired thug I can talk to. What's up, bud? Black cloak, wooden, like, board shield, like square shield, and a sword. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damned fool, you should never have come here. Buddy, I'm cool. Nah, buddy, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably shouldn't. Somebody once came across somebody who said that song is weird because it's about it's about having the opportunity to cheat but not doing it, I guess. And I get that's kind of what the song is about. Like, I could have another drink, but if I do, I don't trust myself, which is weird. Like, if you have trouble with alcohol, it makes you apt to possibly cheat on your significant other. There's a problem there, that's what I'd say. Usually, it's probably not specifically only the... Where'd you go? That way? Okay. The alcohol that would be causing you to even have any possibility of cheating. It's probably inside you already that you kind of want to cheat, but that's bad. I've never been so drunk that I've wanted to cheat on the woman that I love, you know. I don't understand. What's this all about? Gah! No one's there. What's going on? Oh, I guess we were hearing voices through the tunnel, so we'll go further down the tunnel. Here's Ilbert. And there is a dead person. Or unconscious. Cutscene. As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard and to bring an inexperienced recruit. Commander Levalier would be most disappointed. Damn it all. A golden opportunity wasted. He moves about in frustration. As for the clients, though we know not how, they slipped past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dusk-white sellswords. We suspect may be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the immortal flames or the brass blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we have secured the weapons, yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicates a massive shipment, and this is anything but. Bait and switch is complete. We're about 10 and a half minutes in. We'll keep going. Got another barn burner, folks. Best laid schemes. I will join the first in their hunt for the dusk-white sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask that you deliver these weapons to Ul'dah in my stead. Entrust them to the third's Yuyuhase. He will take care of the rest. What is the teleport cost? 280? I can just do it for 120. I'm going to do it for 120. It might take a tad bit longer, but so be it. Part of me wants to make a video, renew my account for Final Fantasy XI, as I feel the need to do so often, or the want to do, desire to do, and just kind of make a video showing off what all the summons are, the avatars, what they can do, what kind of gear you have for that, what all the attachments are for the Puppet Master. Maybe the blue spells that I've picked up. I haven't picked up nearly all of them. I'm going to Ul'dah. But that would cost... I know already that unless I have a group of really good people that want to drag me along through each part of the high level stuff, then getting back into that game is just going to be a repeat of what it was before. Just basically dawdling around, hoping to get a group to do X, Y, or Z. Not really knowing why I'm doing X, Y, or Z sometimes. Let's see, Weaver's Guild. And just overall wasting my time and money, which is a lot of video games in a nutshell, I suppose. This time could obviously be much better spent doing healthy things, working out, reading, learning something. Alright, there you are. Yuyuhase is a little bit to the west of the market, in Ul'dah. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend to the Crystal Graves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Korthus. Now, what brings you to us this day? Hand over the confiscated crate. Cutscene. I do have all the red mage spells, I'm pretty sure. And black and white, I think, as well, too. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilbert, you say? Understood. Once we've catalogued the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? As Alien cites a girl, my bad. Riel started with confidence that there would be a far greater quantity of weapons. Stated with confidence, sorry. A blatant falsehood. Clearly, Riel is unfamiliar with the ways of Ul'dah merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that this information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Says Wilred. Besides, we've got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the cerulean processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Fight well, Alien, and for the freedom of all. For the freedom of all. I made that part up. They didn't say that part, but he did. Yuyuhase did. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. Mercy, a word, if it please you, says Rio, the eye-patched blonde man, crystal brave. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time, don't you worry. I think he's the ex-pirate from Limsa Little Minsa. Oh, I don't want to go that way, apparently. I can't go that way. If you ever want to know the cool things of Final Fantasy XI, you could probably find videos of what summons are, what some of the fights look like for, what are good ones? Like there's an Odin fight, a lot of the Chains of Promethea fights and storyline are pretty cool. I am sure there's somebody who has made videos like I am documenting all the storylines and all the text. There's no voice acting at all, so they'll be doing a lot of talking. If they're doing any talking and just letting you read, then that's their prerogative. But here's Riol in the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. Thanks for indulging me request. Few places better than a market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and bustle of commerce means most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burning Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything. Leave no detail out. You give your details. That's not quite how the first told it. These Duskwites they were chasing, latest word is that we lost the trail. But you never saw him yourself? Not before the fighting started and not after? Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in me bones. I'm not daft enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boast. Our information was reliable, goddammit. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started. Believe me, the commander wanted assurances that we weren't taking Gale from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days the money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I've a lot on my mind these days, and I appreciate you lending an ear. Right, then, best get back at it. Back to it. Lending an ear. Lending an ear. Lending an ear. Mercy, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you are able. Ute. But there's so many cool things in that game. Like, everything was so unique that you could do. Like, Beastmasters could tame something in the wild. They could tame wild beasts and then use them to fight. And they could have jug pets. So like it was an item that you kind of equipped as ammo, and you could just like pop a jug pet out. You could make them with cooking skills, or I think they were all cooking. There may be some alchemy with, but mostly cooking. And so you could just have pets at hand when you need them, because there are a lot of places there's nothing to tame. Dragoons had their wyverns, and their wyverns could heal or use breaths. And they had jumps that actually, like, some of their jumps would shed enmity. And they had a lot of like multi-attack, multi-hit weapon skills. They're pretty cool. Dark Knights could absorb like strength from an enemy, vitality from an enemy, any of the stats basically. Absorb health, absorb mana, MP, whatever. And then had a two-handed scythe, and they would just do massive, sometimes multi-hit attacks as well with And you could have gear that would give you multi-attack. It would give you haste. Like there was haste in the game, which was super fun because as a red mage, your job a lot of the times in parties was to just rotate haste, and in the meantime you're debuffing enemies to make them slower or make them less evasive or to lower their defense. And you had bards that actually had, like, a bard's job was pretty much just to sing songs. That's it. They became pullers toward the end game a little bit because they could pull if they went /ninja. Okay, and then ninjas had ninjutsu, so they could cast like they used items to cast ninja spells, and they could create shadows of themselves, which absorbed hits. So they became big tanks for a while because basically they ignored 4 hits in a row or 3 hits in a row, and they didn't have a lot of armor on top of that. So if they did get hit, like kind of at lower levels, it was rough for healers. And it was also rough to get that Utsusemi cast off because it was long. It was a long cast, and you could be completely interrupted if you got hit during a cast, during specific times in a cast. Anyway, thank you for coming so quickly, Mercy. We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most determined lady by all indications. Best laid schemes is complete. We're at 20 minutes, almost 21. The Rising Chorus is the next quest from Tataru. Our guest is with the antecedent in the Solar at present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we? An Ishgardian female. Is that the Lady Knight? Whose name I can't remember? We just got her name. Oh yeah, Lucia, yeah. I was right.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
If you couldn't tell by the voice, that's Moonbrita. Who just spoke was Minfilia, but the one right before that was Moonbrita. And we have Lucia, the knight of Emmerich's knight.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthan rhyme, aye. The brightening of the Dragonstar is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgardsormr himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald, only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Gallian fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragonstar portends, the great worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgardsormr had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Tataru shook her head no, by the way.
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgardsormr. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emmerich would entrust this task to you. Do you accept?
You nod.
We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
forgive me if I state aught which you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. As Urian J stated, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, and the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius Van Belsar attempted to seize control of Mordunna. So massive was his force that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. This is in like one of the opening videos, basically, or it's a video at some point. I can't remember when you see it, but like a bunch of ships and then a bunch of dragons come out to meet those ships in the air, ships in the air, and then a giant like ballooned ship, just massive, and that's what she's saying. It's his flagship. And then that giant, super long kind of Chinese version of a dragon, just really long, flowing, wrapped itself around the ship and basically was taking it down and got killed in the process. That's Midgardsormr. But an unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgardsormr, a legendary guardian of Silvertear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean airships overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of Silvertear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's ceruleum engines failed, and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transformed Silvertear Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing aether for malms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its center a constant reminder of that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emmerich's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done, and precious little time to do it. Alright. Shit, this is getting long. Alright. Okay, I gotta go here. Alright, we are flying southeast. And then quite a bit south, actually. Doman Watch. So we are looking out over a lake. I mean, it looks like just a normal kind of lake. There are some crystals all around it, like kind of those jagged, tall, 2 to 3 story crystals kind of just everywhere, just all over, just jutting out of the ground, out of the lake. Like the shallow parts of the lake. Like, again, they're all like maybe 2 or 3 stories tops. And there's a Doman Watch. There's a boat right next to him. You're in luck, miss. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again? Well, from here, that seems rather unlikely, but if it's assurances they want, you've no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. We kind of zoomed in on that flagship is basically at a perpendicular angle to the ground. So it's basically like 90 degrees straight into the ground, so we can only see half of the ship. And Midgardsormr's quote-unquote corpse is wrapped around that half. Easier said than done, given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence. They're sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrias, then climb to the top. That's the only viable approach, I'd say. The Keeper of the Lake is now accessible, and will be the next video. Probably today. I'll just pop on White Mage and do it. But yeah, that's it for this video. I will see you guys next time.